You found them, you've taught them, now it's time to battle. Will your knowledge of your Battle Masters pay off? Join me as we learn how to play Battle Masters. Mr. Becker here from Making Masters, and I'm very excited to teach you a new game today, one of my favorites for sure, the game Battle Masters. What is a Battle Master? Well, it's a creature that has come from my imagination, from the imaginations of my students, and now they have become real life. Is that a Battle Master is depicted on a card like this. And let me zoom in here. And I do apologize for the glare. I was trying to think of a way to do this, but if I did that, you can't see it. If I turned off this light, you wouldn't see me. So you're just gonna have to just get over the fact that there's a glare on these. They need to be laminated because we are going to write on them with dry erase marker, and if you didn't have it, then it would be permanent, and that would defeat the whole purpose of this game. Right here I have a card called Soul Blaze, and maybe if I just hold it up like this, you can see it a little better. So Soul Blaze, there's a couple things about it. His name is right here, Soul Blaze. He has 35 HP, so HP refers to health points, so he's going to start the game with 35, and the symbol right up here means that he's a fire type Battle Master. There are 4 different types of Battle Masters. We have fire, we have water, we have tree, and we have wind. He also has a star over here, which means he's a 1-star Battle Master. 1-star Battle Master, probably not that good, but if you're going to just start playing, then start with the lower stars. Eventually, you can get up to Battle Masters that have 5 stars, way more starting HP. Their moves might be a little more complicated, but they might not be. Soul Blaze kind of has a complicated move as well. So there's a description down here of Soul Blaze, and here are his attacks. So his attacks and then the damage that it can do. So, for example, Soul Blaze, he has an attack called Blazing Sun. It says, if any of your HPs are an even number, then you can do 5 to 6 damage. You can do 5 to 6 damage. So all these Battle Masters are going to have attacks on them, and you are trying to get your opponents to be knocked out. So let's say that your opponent has a starting HP of 36 and you do a damage that is 40. Well, that opponent is knocked out. The person who wins that battle of your Battle Masters is whoever knocks out 3 of the opponent's Battle Masters first is indeed the winner. There's lots and lots of different ways that you can do Battle Masters. First of all, there's just so much math involved with this, math and strategy. I even threw a little ELA in there as well. All of the names of these Battle Masters are actually going to have a Greek or Latin root. I was trying to think, well, how am I supposed to teach just Greek or Latin roots in isolation? I don't think that's the best way to teach it. So instead of calling them Sun Blaze, we call them Soul Blaze. This one is called Somno because he can put you, to sleep. What are some other ones? Ice Tact. Tact, Greek or Latin root, is touch. So that's like an ice touch. And oh, look, that is one of the names of the moves as well. So on all these cards, there is a hint. If you can't remember what the Greek or Latin root is that somewhere on the card, it is going to give you a hint of what to do. So Mike, I've been making these all year for my students. They've come up with a lot of the ideas behind it, and I perfected them. I made them how I think could be used best and most fair for making the game. But if you have just a bunch of Battle Masters and you're starting a school year playing with it, I would strongly suggest playing with the lower stars to begin with. Okay, play with the lower stars. If you all of a sudden start with the highest ones, and then one person has a 5-star and the rest are just 1 stars for the other person, it's not going to be fun. So I would strategically give out the Battle Masters, starting with the lowest and then working up until you give out like 5-star Battle Masters. The stars can also be there to say, okay, you're building a deck. You're building your deck of Battle Masters, and to each battle you can only bring 7 Battle Masters to the battle. So even if you had like 14 of them, you can only pick 7 of them to battle with. Also then, the stars could be useful that way. So you could say, okay, of your 7, you can only have a maximum of 15 stars. So that would really even out if some of your kids got a bunch of really good ones, and then they're trying to play another one who doesn't have very good cards. You could put a cap on the number of stars and say, okay, the maximum is 15 for your 7. You have to choose wisely. So could you pick 6 and get up to 15? Sure. Could you pick 5? Sure. But at least it's going to even out the game that way. You don't always play. You don't play at 7 at one time. You're going to have your active Battle Masters, and then you're going to have those still in the deck. So to begin with, you're going to sit across from your opponent. It's a 2-player game. You're going to sit across from the opponent, and I have my 7 right here, and my opponent has their 7 right here, and I'll just put these over here for them, and I'm going to put these over here for us, or for me, and you get to look at which ones that you want to start with. So I'm going to start with this one, I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to start with this one. Okay, and the rest of these then I'm just going to set off to the side over here. These are my reserves, and he's just going to pick. I'm just going to do this randomly. I have no idea. And now he has a reserve deck as well, and he's just going to put it off to the side or back here. Okay, I'm just going to put those back there. So he has 3 that are going to be active, and I have 3 that are going to be active, and I have 4 in my deck here. I'll just set that off to the side. Okay, it's important that you set it up like this. They're all kind of facing each other, because one of the Battle Masters actually deals with who is he across from, and then we flip them over. So I have Ambulo, I have Soul Blaze, and I have Floramore, and each of them have an HP that you start with, and that's what you write down here. So Floramore starts with 27 HP, Soul Blaze starts with 35, Ambulo starts with 41. And now you can see why I needed that glare on the cards, because the HP, the health of this these Battle Masters, is going to decrease over the course of the game. So we're going to have to erase that number and put the new one. All right, like I told you, I have no idea who they are. Oh, Crypto, that's a 3-star. We have Octogust, and we have Megadent. So let me just write these in. Crypto starts at 52, Octogust starts at 43, and Megadent starts at 42. And this is the game. So now we're ready to battle. The first person, whoever has the lowest HP of their active Battle Masters, goes first. If it's tied, like let's say that the lowest one was 30 and 30, well then you look at your second lowest. If it's 31 and 33, well the 31 would go next. So I have 27 as my low, and their low is only it's 42, so clearly I am going to go first. So now I can look at any of these cards and looking at any of those attacks, and I can do them. For example, it says, if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, then I could do 6 to 7 damage. Now, what's really, really, really important, and if you mess this up, you're going to mess up the whole game, and then you're going to be like, well, Battle Masters is no fun. Whenever it says something like, if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, I look over here and I know that this is a factor of 2 and this is a factor of 2. it does not mean that you have to attack the Battle Master that has a factor of 2. It just means that it is triggered by it, and you can attack any of them. I could do this move, and I could attack Octogust, even though he has he doesn't have a factor of 2. He has an HP of 43, but it says that if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, which it does, so now the move is triggered. That's all that means. Stem Slap is triggered, so now I can use it. I don't know if I want to use it or not, but I could use it. There's one other thing that you have to think about, is that because of the 4 different types of Battle Masters, there are some types that do more damage than others, and there's some types that do less damage than others. For example, water is strong against fire. I mean, you put a bunch of water on fire, it's going to go out. So the water types do an extra 10 damage to fire types. Fire is very strong against tree, so it does an extra 10 damage against tree. Fire is not strong against water, so it does 10 damage less to water. So let's say water is strong against fire, so water does 10 extra damage. Fire is weak against water, so it does 10 less damage. Tree, imagine putting up trees to stop the wind. So trees is strong. The tree type is strong against wind type, which means the wind type is weak against tree. And we know that, well, wind, if you think about like evaporation, get all sciencey on you, evaporation, wind would dry up water, so wind is strong against water, which means water is weak against wind. So I mean, hopefully that helps. If it doesn't help, I mean, think about it this way. If we have water is strong against fire, fire is strong against tree, and tree is strong against wind, which means wind is strong against water. So in the instructions, the directions, this is there for you. But if you also are confused, it's right there on top of the card. Okay? Strong against water, weak against tree. So what I wrote on the back of is also very important. This is a quick reference card. It tells you what you can do on each turn. You can attack. That is going to be one of your, you only get one action, okay? So all of these top 3 are all going to be actions that you can do. So you can only do one or the other. So you could attack, which says choose one of your active masters and the amount of damage you want to inflict on one of your opponent's masters. Unless otherwise stated, you can only attack once per turn. You can rest, which means choose one of your active masters that does not have its full starting HP. And you can choose whether you want to rest it 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, sorry. You cannot rest a master that's higher than its starting HP. So I couldn't rest Soul Blaze and say, well, I'm going to add 5 to it. No, because that is the most he can get by resting is up to 35. Or you can replace. Let's say that you saw, uh-oh, look at all these. That's not very good. And you wanted to replace one. Well, then you can take one of these, and then you can go and look into your deck and say, okay, I'm gonna replace Florimore with Somno. Okay, that is your turn. That's your turn. That's your one action. I'll explain this as well then. This is using a health boost. This, if you can see, says 0, sorry, this is horrible, you can't see that. It says 0 actions. Okay, using a health boost is 0 actions. So that means that you can do this and you can attack on the same turn. You have 3 available health boosts indicated by this picture. Okay, you can only use those once per game. So you can only use this once per game. If you use it, it's a +1 health boost, which means you can heal one of your Battle Masters +1. And yes, it can be above the starting HP. Health boosts can go above the starting HP. Let me just say that again, because that's very important. So I could use that on Soul Blaze, and he could be 36. Well, I have a total of 4 of them. I have a +1, a +1, and a +2. The +2, that means that you have to use +2 on one Battle Master. You cannot use +1 and +1. You can't split that one up among 2 of them. But you could use all 4 of them on one turn, and I could get Soul Blaze to 39 if I really wanted to. But then that's all you have for the rest of the game. Okay, so there's a lot of strategy involved. Now, why would you ever want to use a health boost? Well, because your cards are activated by, like their attacks are triggered by their HPs at that given time. So, let's just say I'm going to use Stem Slap, and I'm going to say if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, which it does, and then I'm going to point there. So I'm going to say, this is how a turn would go. I'm going to say, I'm going to use Stem Slap. And then you read what it says. If any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, and then I just point. It says if any of them, even though there's 2 of them, I don't have to give away that I know that both of them are a factor of 2. Then it's 6 to 7 damage. I get to choose if it's 6 or 7, but you also have to remember the fact that Floramore is tree type, and he is strong against wind. So instead of 6 to 7, it's actually going to be 16 or 17 if I attack one of his wind type. So right now, Floramore is very powerful against Crypto and Octogust because he's strong against wind. So I am going to choose, I'm going to do 16 to 17 damage. I'm going to do 17 damage. I'm going to do 17 damage on Crypto. So I'm going to do 17 damage. So I'm just going to turn that over. And now, teachers, if you are a teacher and you're watching this, I would strongly suggest that you get kids to stop using a standard algorithm if they're like in 4th, 5th grade, I mean even 3rd grade, to try to do some of this subtraction. I'm a 4th grade teacher this year. Had 4th grade students who loved this game. They couldn't get enough of it. And there was so much that I learned from it. Yes, this game is all about factors and multiples and prime and composite and even and odd. But I quickly realized my students have a lot of gaps in just their number sense. That I had a student. I did 5 damage. I did 5 damage against one of his cards, his Battle Masters, who had 41. And he really struggled with 5 less than 41. Is that he probably could have done it using the standard algorithm, crossing it out, but if he just thought about it. And that's what this is. This is all about the thinking about math. So I would strongly suggest that you don't let them use the standard algorithm to do some of the subtraction. Well, I did 17 damage against a card that's 52. Well, I can think of it in terms of 17. Well, that's 3 more than 20. So what if I would have done 20? It would have been 32. But I didn't do 32 because it was 3 less. So now I'm going to add 3 back. So that's going to be 35. So now Crypto is at 35. So I'm going to take an eraser, and now all of a sudden 35, and you can check it, 35 plus 17 is indeed going to be the 52. And now Crypto is at 35. That was my turn's action, and now it's my opponent's turn. And now he's going to be looking at his cards, and Crypto says, if 2 or more of your opponent's HPs are prime numbers. And he's like, oh wait, 41, that's prime. But those aren't. Okay, you can't use that one. It says, Secret Whisper, if any of your HPs have a factor of 2, yes it does, but that only does 6 to 7 damage. That one's a factor of 2. And know that it would be 10 less, so actually that attack couldn't even hit Floramore, because 6 to 7, 10 less than that's going to be 0, and, well, a negative number, but 0 for this game, 0 damage. So that one's not going to work so well. Octogust, Octa, that Greek Latin root, is all about 8, so his attacks are all about 8. If any of your HPs are a multiple of 8, if any of your opponent's HPs are a multiple of 8, no. Oh, no. Well, let's look at Megaden. It says, if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 5. Oh, if any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 5, 35 is a factor of 5. Or it says if this HP has a factor of 4. Megadent. If this HP has a factor of 4, well, 42, that's not a factor of 4. But it's close to a factor of 4. It's 2 away. So this person, my opponent, is saying, you know what? I am going to use my health boost. I'm going to use a health boost. I'm going to use my +2 health boost. So he crosses this out. It's gone for the rest of the game. But now he's going to change Megadent. Instead of 42, he now makes them 44. Remember, health boosts can go above the starting HP. Now, why would he do that? Because of this whirlpool attack. It says, if this HP has a factor of 4, which it now does, and I might be in trouble here, then 24 to 25 damage. Oh, no. Water, it says, is strong against fire, and I have a fire one out there. So actually the whirlpool could do 24 to 25. Instead, now it does 34 to 35. And he says, I'm doing whirlpool. If any of your factors, if this HP is a factor of 4, which it is, I'm going to do 35 damage to Soul Blaze. And that makes Soul Blaze at 0. Soul Blaze got knocked out. I should have saw that coming. I could have attacked Megadent and try to make it so he wasn't so close. I didn't see it. So, Soul Blaze is discarded for the rest of the game. And now I get to choose one of my Battle Masters for my hand. And I'm looking, he's got 2 wind type. I could use another tree. That might help. Yeah, I don't want to put that fire one out there because water's strong against fire. So I'm going to use Somno. Somno starts at 32. Okay, he just went. It's my turn. Ooh, Somno. He has what is called an ongoing effect. It says, if any master inflicts damage on Somno, that master becomes sleepy. This means that the attacking master cannot attack for 1 turn. There's lots and lots of different effects for this game. You just have to read them and try to figure out strategy based off of them. So, I do still want to do some damage to a tree type. This one is, if any of your opponent's HPs are prime numbers, that one is, and Somno makes each master that has a prime number sleepy. Yeah, that could be good. You know what? I might just do Stem Slap again. If any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 2, Megadent still has one. Remember that it just activates it. I don't have to attack Megadent. So I'm going to do 17 damage because it's strong against wind. I'm going to do 17 damage to, you know what? I'm not going to do 17. I'm going to choose to do 1 damage less. I'm going to do 16 because it says that I can do 16 or 17. Remember that it's strong against wind, and that's why I'm going to do 16 damage. So 16 damage against Crypto because Megadent has a factor of 2. So 16, well, if it was 15, it would be 20, and now 1 less than 20 is 19. So I did 19, and now Crypto is down to 19. Now Crypto is down to 19. All right, their turn. I know that Megadent can still do his whirlpool attack, so maybe I should have attacked him. So he's going to say, yep, I'm going to do this. If this HP has a factor of 4, which he still does, 24 to 25 damage. It's not strong or weak against any, so he's going to do 25 damage to Floramore, and that's going to take him down to 2. Once again, I probably should have saw that coming. Should have seen that coming. But there was a reason why I didn't. And that's one of Ambulo's attacks. It says Electric Pulse. If 2 of your opponent's HPs are prime numbers, 43 is prime and 19 is prime, then your opponent can attack for 2 turns. If all of your opponents are prime numbers, Then your opponent can't attack for 3. It says Electric Pulse doesn't work if your opponent's masters are still affected by it. I've never used it, so I don't have to worry about that. But 2 of them are prime numbers, so I'm going to say Ambulo is going to use Electric Pulse because 19 and 43 are prime numbers, which means you can't attack for 2 turns. All right, so, well, what can that person do then? So that was my turn, so now it's my opponent's turn. He can't attack for 2 turns. This is his first turn. Well, he can't really do much. He doesn't, I guess he could replace Crypto, and that's probably what he would do. He's looking at his cards and he says, okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put in, this one's strong against wind, so maybe I'm gonna put in this one. Well, this one's strong against wind too, so I'm gonna put in Labby. So now Crypto, he wasn't knocked out. He has an HP of 19. That stays. Don't erase that. That stays, and that goes back in the deck. If he wants, he can take Crypto back out, and he would still be at 19. He wouldn't start over with his starting HP. He would be at 19. So it's my turn. So that was his 1 turn. He still can't attack for another turn. Well, that's not going to help. I got to get this one out. I got to get this one out. But it says, you know what? I'm going to do this first. It says, if this HP is a multiple of 2, which it is, then Floramore poisons one of your opponent's masters. This means at the start of every one of your opponent's turns, the targeted master loses 5 HP regardless of the type. The poison leaves that master. If it's replaced, gets a health boost, gets healed by a different master, or if it rests. I'm going to do that, and I am going to poison Octogust. I'm going to poison Octogust. So I'm just going to write a little P down here because he's poisoned, which means that he's going to lose 5 at the start of that turn. So my opponent's turn. Remember, because of Electric Pulse, he still can't attack. But he could use an HB. Remember that he has 2 of them left. He could replace. He's just going to use 1 HB. And he's going to make Octogust at 40. Oh, remember. Oh, wait. So this was the start of the turn. So 43 minus 5 is 38. And he's still poisoned. So, you know what? He's not going to use the HB. He's just going to rest. He's going to rest the 5 back to the 43, and he's not going to be poisoned anymore. Okay. Well, that didn't work out so well for me. Now, I cannot use Electric Pulse again, even if multiple HPs were prime numbers, because he still technically is feeling the effects of Electric Pulse. I gotta get Floramore out, or else he's gonna be knocked out, and then I'm gonna be down 2-0. So I'm gonna take a new one out, and I gotta strong against water. I'm gonna take out Disastro, and he's gonna be 36. Now he is free from the Electric Pulse, which means he can attack again, and he still has this factor of 4. Oh, so he's going to use that again. And he's going to say, all right, Whirlpool, if this HP has a factor of 4, which it does, then 24 to 25 damage. This one is strong against water. My wind is strong, so it could only do 14 or 15, but it can do 25 against Somno, which he's going to do. So 25 is going to be 7. Now it says, the ongoing effect of Somno, though, is if anyone attacks Somno, that Battle Master is sleepy. So I'm going to put a little S to prove that he is sleepy. You could even turn the card to show it. And now it's my turn. It says, Somno's move is do not get sleepy. If any master is sleepy, and if this HP is a multiple of 3, which it isn't, then 29 to 30 damage to the sleepy master. You know what? I'm going to use my 2 HB, and I'm going to make it this 9. So now it is a multiple of 3. I can do 29 to 30 damage against Megadent. I'm going to do 30 damage against him, and he's going to be down to 14. He's going to be down to 14. And now it's my opponent's turn, which means he's no longer sleepy. All right. Okay. So that was a good move because now it's no longer a factor of 4. He still could use some HBs to get it to him, to get to a factor of 4. But he might be doing something else. Octagus is all about 8s. These aren't 8. That's not 8. I look at Labby and it says repeated sting. If any of your opponent's HPs have a factor of 5, no. It says if any, yeah, no 5. So you know what? He's going to do it again. He's going to use all of his HBs. I crossed out the last 2. He's going to use those and he's going to make this 16. And it says, Whirlpool, if this has a factor of 4, which it now does, 24 to 25 damage, he is going to do it on Somno. And now Somno is knocked out. I am losing. Remember, Soul Blaze got knocked out earlier, and now Somno is knocked out. That did make Megadent sleepy, but it was well worth it, my opponent thinks. So now I got to bring in someone else. I'm going to bring in my 3-star Iconoflame. Iconoflame has an ongoing effect that says Iconoflame cannot be damaged by Fire-type Mathsters. Really good effect, but unfortunately he doesn't have Fire-type out there, so I really got to get this guy out. Got to get this guy out. And I don't even know if I can. All right. Burn down. Iconoflame says burn down. It says if all of your HPs are prime numbers, 31 is prime, 41 is prime, 36 is not prime, but I could use an HB to get Disastro to be 37, which I'm going to do. So I cross out one of my potions. And now they're all prime numbers. So I'm going to use Burn Down, which does 39 to 40 damage. Wow. 39 to 40 damage. I could take out Labby. I could even take out Megadent. Even though that, because it's weak against water, it would be 29 to 30. I could still take out Megadent. And because he's got that 16, I need that out. I need that out. So I'm going to say burn down. If all of your HPs are prime numbers, which they are, then I'm going to do 39 to 40, which is technically 29 to 30 because it's weak against water. And now Megadent is at 0, and that's the first one I knocked out. Okay, so it's 1 to 2. He says this, and he says, okay, I'm going to take out Hydroa. Hydroa. You have a fire type out there. I'm going to take out Hydroa. Maybe I can knock out Iconoflame. So it's his turn, and it says if 2 or more of your HPs are even, this one, no, can't do that one. If this is the HP, if this HP is a multiple of 9, nope, it's not. So he can't take that one out. This one's all about 8s, remember, and he's in big trouble now. Maybe he shouldn't have done that. What about this one? Sweet Healing Pollen. If all of your HPs are odd numbers, then each of your active masters gain 14 to 15. Remember, that can't go above the starting HP, so that's not going to help. Oh, he really should have rethought this through. So you know what? He's actually going to take this, and he's going to take... he's going to take out Geobug, and he's going to replace Labby with Geobug. Now, I don't want to get into too specifics of the cards, so I'm not even going to finish reading this, nor am I going to finish playing. But that is Battle Mathsters. My students absolutely loved playing this game, and the amount of math and the strategy that they were using is phenomenal. Factors and multiples, always a really tough thing for my 4th graders to learn, and this game is all about them. Being able to think a couple moves ahead, and to take all this and say, well, okay, if I added one, would that now be a multiple of 7, and the amount of thinking is just tremendous. And as I said before, the subtraction and the gaps of just number sense. I cannot recommend this game enough to you in terms of just the engagement, the math that these kids are going to do. I mean, they ask me, hey, can I have a few more cards so I can take them home and play Mom? And I mean, what more do you want? This excitement to play a game in which they are increasing their number sense. Like I said, I cannot recommend this game enough. So I hope you enjoy it. There's tons and tons of them. I think I'm up to like 50 as this video is made. They're all, once again, Greek or Latin roots. And I use these as rewards. If you've been working really hard, I'm going to let you draw a card. So I have a giant stack of these. I have a giant stack of these, and I let them draw a card, and they get it added to their deck. And I mean, the excitement that their decks aren't the same, and they're trying to get a more powerful deck than their classmates, so that they can possibly beat them and strategize. And it just is phenomenal. So if you have any questions about it, put it in the comment section below. Like, subscribe to this video, and that is all I have for you. I really hope you enjoy Battle Masters. Mr. Becker here from Making Masters. Have a good one.